lovely, welcome to my channel. We're going to achieve this with braiding hair. Yeah, you heard me right. Braiding hair, we take things from scratch to glam. Okay, so let's get straight into the video because I can't wait to show you the beautiful process that brought us to this. Thank you. So keep watching to know how. Okay, I love you. Welcome. So what you'll be needing to make your hair, it's just your bundles, your closure, and your wig cap and your canvas head. So this is how you're going to be placing the closure. You're not going to be placing this closure like the normal way you do. Okay, you're going to be placing it just as I'm doing. You're going to turn to the other side. You bring the back to the front side of the cap and pin it down. Do you understand? Make sure you pin it down in a way that your closure is going to be flat. Like to ensure that's not fit, you have to make it very flat. Okay, so you go ahead to pin it so that you can begin to sew in with your thread. All my videos I make them to be self-explanatory, so I don't need to be talking much for you to see, but just watch and see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to be explaining as usual the places that are necessary for you to know. After sewing it down your closure, you have to sew in your bundles. So you have to take your needle and thread and sew in your bundles as you would do to your normal wig. As a beginner, this is what you do. So when you're taking your needle, you know that very part that has the opening of the thread, you put in your needle so you can have your bundles secured onto the wig cap. Okay, so you have to put the needle in between it, then tie the thread to make it secured. Then you begin to sew in. You're going through the hair, like the hair bundle, then through the cap, then you begin to sew. You can have guidelines so that you can have a straight track while sewing. Okay, so begin to sew your hair. Then when it gets to the front part of the hair, make sure that you're sewing in a way that if you're doubling your bundles, no problem. If you're single wefting, no problem. You just need to sew it down. Then you see this very place that is open between the hair and your bundles, the closure and the bundles. You have to take the bundles out of the way, the closure out of the way. Then you take this particular bundle and place it just right at where you sew down your closure line. That's going to help you cover up that gap you have between the bundle and the closure line. So you pin it down with your T-pin or your office pin. Then you go in with your needle and thread and begin to sew it down, just like the way you sew your bundles. Okay, then this is how you're going to be sewing. You're going to be sewing like taking your needle, put it through the bundle, then you take the cap and the closure, like they are sewing 3 at the same time. So you sew it down. Then when you get to the end of the weft, you're going to secure the end so it doesn't get loosened. Just make sure you sew it. Just take your time while doing this because this is the front part of the hair. You don't want to have bumps on your hair while sewing. So make sure you take your time and get to the front part of the bundle. So if you have kind of excesses at the front, you just make sure you pull the excesses, then get to that very line you have, cut out the thread you have, then you secure it. Like I said, I have a video of when I made bundles, okay, of how I made bundles, I meant to say. So make sure you check it out. I'm going to put it up in the video so you can see how I make bundles from scratch, so that you can have your bundles and sew at the same time as I'm doing. Okay, so when you're done with that, you go ahead to secure it and cut off your thread. You're done sewing your wig. So this is what you're going to be doing after the sewing. So when you're done sewing, just loosen the hair. You can see how flat the closure is. losing your hair, like losing the closure part that you've sewn, then you go ahead to detangle this hair, because you are going to be styling it. You don't want ties and all that while working on your hair, so make sure you detangle. So what you have to do next is to go in with your straightener. Make sure you're working with low heat. Do not use a high temperature straightener. Make sure you work with low temperature straightener, because it's synthetic hair, it's fiber hair, so it doesn't melt it. Okay, so I know most of you be wondering why I have a different background on this other video. What happened actually was that I was actually working on the hair, and Nigeria had to do their thing like usual. They took the light, so I had to go to the next apartment, that's my neighbor's apartment, to work on the hair, because the light, like Jen, was on there. So pardon me, but the same hair I'm working on, so you guys wait till you see the end result. Okay, so you go ahead to straighten it. When you're done straightening, you just have to section the hair. So you're going to be rolling. Okay, go in with a spray can. You can have your own spray can by just having a bottled water, like a bottled water can. Just bore some holes on the cover and you're good to go. Then you go ahead to apply the water like all over the hair, detangle it, comb it through, then you roll with your rollers. Okay, you roll with your rollers from the tip and make your way to the root. Then you snap on with it with the back of the rollers. That's what you're going to be doing to the whole wig. Make sure you do as I'm doing, like do exactly as I'm doing, because you're going to be having same result if you follow my same exact step. So make sure you roll the whole hair, because the bang part is going to be the icing on the cake. So make sure you keep watching to see how we're going to achieve that beautiful bang and going to slay your hair. So when you got to the bang part, this is what I actually did. I didn't want that bangs and the hair to be having that same length, so I kind of like use my razor to kind of spread it out a bit, like, you know, see this feeling, this style it has now. So it'll be like you have bangs and you have like side bangs that's always like almost the same bang with it, almost the same length. Then you're going to roll it the side. Do you understand? Roll the side as well, so you're going to be having that look. Do you get? So the front part is not as like too long from it. Then after that, you're going to be soaking your hair hot water. You know how we do it in this channel. We always style is condition that hair to what we want, the style we want. Okay, I always say you shouldn't use very hot water, but because I was in my neighbor's room, I was kind of in a rush. I couldn't wait for the water to actually go down. Do you understand? I will always say this: make sure your water is not too hot, because it's going to melt. It actually melted this hair, but don't worry, we have a solution to it. So this is me unraveling the curls. The curls came out nice as usual. Forget the whole burning and all that, but do not use hot water that is too hot, so you don't melt your hair like mine. Okay, so after that, this is how you're going to be resolving the whole melting and all that. Take a low heat straightener, then you begin to straighten that part that actually got burnt. You might not be needing it if you follow what I say by using hot water that is not very boiling hot water. You understand? So go ahead to straighten it if you have this. Then after that, you go in with your oil, because you want this hair to have a little bit of shine. Do you understand? Then you apply it on your hair. Guys, these coils are already popping. Like, they already look good. They're looking very, very good. So just apply it all over your hair, but do not apply much. Like I always tell you, synthetic hair doesn't absorb product, so do not apply much. Okay, so when you're done, this is when I'm going to be styling. Remember, the front part of the hair is not inside of the hot water. I had to hold on to it. You saw what I did. Okay, so you're going to go ahead to wear your hair to check where you want your bangs to be. Like, I want my bangs to just be right on my nose. If you want yours longer, make sure you cut it that way, or above your eyelids, no problem, but I want it just on my nose. So I went ahead to just cut it to the size I want, so I can actually bang this hair, you know. So after that, I got this length I wanted, so I had to just make it thinner a bit by just chopping it off a bit. And I went ahead with my straightener to make it, to have that bangs is looking so pretty. So I went ahead to wear this hair so I can make it fit on my face. The hair is looking lovely and I love the outcome. Like, can you imagine that we are actually achieving this with braiding hair? Guys, this is bang. It's banging. The bang is banging. Do you understand? So if you've watched to this point, hope you've subscribed. If you haven't, why haven't you? Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment on the comment section, So you know how we do it on this channel. We give shout out to our loves. So today's shout out goes to Mabel from Ghana. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for sticking with me. You're welcome to this family. Do well to give this video a thumbs up. I've said it already, so you haven't done that, do that. So until I meet you again in my next one, bye for now. I love you guys. Bye.